Citizen Vigilante. Now, this movie's getting banned in some countries in Europe, and it's getting a lot of heat because of the contents of the film, which, as soon as you tell people they can't go see it, well, now everybody wants to go see it. So it's doing very well, actually. That being said, I'm a big Vigilante movie fan in general, and although this one does have some good moments in it, the overall film just isn't very good. Let's get into it. Armie Hammer plays Sanders, who's a rich American property owner living in Croatia, who is very frustrated with the weak justice system over there and has decided to take matters into his own hands and serve his own form of justice. All this sounds good so far. I love similar films like The Equalizer, Righteous Kill, and my personal favorite's got to be Law Abiding Citizen. These movies have you rooting for the vigilante because as an audience you can relate to the situation that they're in and the rage that they have, living vicariously through them as you watch the film. Unfortunately, this film lacks a good script and the budget to execute what those films had. Citizen Vigilante feels like a high-budget student film, which isn't a good thing. And Armie's character is supposed to be bringing justice to all the innocent victims that he comes across, but then he just randomly murders an entire SWAT team full of police officers that are just doing their job. Then he runs another innocent person off the road in their car, probably killing them for no reason. All this just doesn't really fit with his main character's motivations that they establish at the beginning of the film, and hence why I said the writing in this just is very poor. And one of the main opening scenes to the movie, they have him visit this lady in the hospital that was attacked and beaten very badly. And we get this big build up and a tense emotional scene, and you can't wait to see what he's going to do to this guy. And nothing. We never get to see it. They just move on to something else. Never happens. Another useless scene. I wish I put a Glock on this because they dragged it out for so long. It was like 10 or 12 minute sex scene that should have been about 2 minutes that would have accomplished the exact same thing with the story. He goes to a brothel, he's banging some escort, he looks up and he sees some mold in the corner of the ceiling. And this is all just to establish how anal and OCD he is about his properties. So getting back to the judge he kidnapped earlier, which made no sense, it had me laughing my ass off and screaming at the television as he was doing it. He injects something in the guy's neck, puts him in the car, and me as the viewer, I'm thinking he gave him something to paralyze him, right? So he's alert, but he can still feel all the pain. Nope! He gave him a massive dose of heroin, so Buddy's tripping balls on a rocket ship ride in the passenger seat. Then he begins to 10-minute monologue this guy about how much of a piece of shit he is for letting criminals out with no jail time. Meanwhile, Judgy Boy is so high he's seeing unicorns. He has no idea what he's fucking talking about, which defeats the point of the big speech. And then instead of putting this guy in a wood chipper when he gets to where he's going, he simply just cuts his wrists, and then he randomly pours vodka on his chest. Not in his mouth. So what's the toxicology report going to say? Victim had a shit ton of heroin in his system, and we randomly found some spilled vodka on his shirt. Isn't that weird? Like, it was just so fucking dumb. Now, all bullshit aside, we do get a pretty good finale scene to the film where he breaks into a guy's house that him and half a dozen of his friends sexually assaulted a girl. More monologuing, executes the family, had them call the friends over, executes all the friends. We finally get some justice. I enjoyed most of the vigilante justice scenes and him whipping some shitter teenagers in the park. And the rest of it, I washed my hands with it. 5 out of 10. Check it out for yourself.